Hello, good evening. How excited am I? Yes, I've got a big smile on my face. I've been looking forward to this. We have got William Morris fabrics for you here. Absolutely stunning fabrics. It is the one-day special. Of course, it's a brand new launch. We're expecting a busy show. The wonderful Natasha's with us as well. She's going to be demonstrating. Hopefully we can give her a bit of a wave. There she is. Right across the other side of the studio. I almost need my binoculars. She's that far away. Now, just before we get any further, I am just going to remind you about the Spring Savers event as well, because if you've got your £5 stored away from maybe buying something yesterday and you want to use it on this show, you can do, of course. You just have to make sure that you spend £30 or more. So if you haven't made a purchase yet today, and you do make a purchase in this hour, then you will get a credit for £5 to spend tomorrow and so on throughout the event. So just bear that in mind as well. Now let's get started. These are absolutely stunning. We have the William Morris fabrics for you here. Everything I've just got to tell you will be dispatched within 9 days' time. But we have got two choices in the one-day special for you as well. Now we're looking first of all at our slate selection. This is absolutely beautiful. Now let me show you what you've got here. You have got 7 half-metre pieces, 100% cotton. These are, of course, William Morris. They're not cheap copies. These are official prints. Absolutely gorgeous. They are quilting weight as well. Now that you can see, I'm not going to open that right the way up because I'm going to leave that fold on that one side for you, just because you can see there. That is an overall pattern there. It's absolutely beautiful. The colours are so beautiful. Of course, you can use these to mix in with your stronger colours. You can use these in any way you want. They will all go together beautifully as well. Let me just open this one out. I'm going to open one of them totally so you can see. Let me just turn that way up actually so you can see that better. So you can see the full size. But they are quilting weight fabric. As I say, you're getting 7 individual pieces here, ½ metre each, so 3.5 metres of fabric in total. Now these have such a sophisticated look about them because of the colour palette, which is really beautiful. You can put so many of the colours with this as well. You've got strong prints, you've got all over prints, you've got beautiful designs that are original, of course, from William Morris himself. Now I'm sure Natasha's got loads of wonderful information she can tell us about. I've got to say this one, just look how pretty this is. This is beautiful. William Morris, Natasha.
Yes.
These are, as we've said, these are quality, these are not imitations.
Catherine, have a look at the selvage. It's even got William Morris on the selvage. The selvage will always tell you an awful lot. And you've got William Morris & Co. on here. Now, this is the mineral range. This is the very first time we've brought the mineral range to air. It's absolutely stunning. It's pared back in its colourways.
Yes.
So, you know, sometimes when you think of the Strawberry Thief, you know, you think of the blues and the reds, and you think of all of those gorgeous colours. But what you have here is something that is going to work in so many different settings. It's got your neutrals in there. It's a beautiful palette that will sit in any home, and that's what it's about. It's about getting the gorgeous print, but in a colourway that will suit any home. And of course, because it's paired back to those neutrals, you can use them as blenders as well. Some of those finer ones as well. You're going to be able to use these in such a wide variety of ways. It's just divine. And I think it would look gorgeous in your cottage, Catherine, just saying.
Do you know, Natasha, it really would. It really would. Absolutely. I might be paying a little visit upstairs or ringing call centre. I can tell you we're busy already. Already 10% of the slate option, the one that we've just looked at, has already gone. Those colours are just absolutely beautiful. But there is another option for you as well. This is the linen option. Now, almost 20% of the stock of the linen has already gone. You're already shopping across the board. Look at the colours again. You've got that deep blue in there with that beautiful sort of sagey green in there. So pretty. I'm going to open one of these pieces out in its entirety so that you can see the actual ½ metre. Just look at these. You've got those beautiful sort of muted colours. Do you know, I'm not going to use the word understated because it would be so unfair, but it really does mean, as Natasha said, that you can sort of take this as your base colours, you can add other colours in, but together, just look how beautiful they are. I actually think they just work so well just exactly as they are. There's so many projects that you can create. I'm just going to bring this little cushion sample in for you so you can see. Now, Natasha just made this with some scraps, some offcuts. So, of course, you're not going to waste a single millimetre of this fabric. Absolutely beautiful. It is very busy out there, it really is. Let's just give you the details one more time there. 773311 is the item number. You've got the two choices. Nothing to stop you going for both if you want both. Lots of you seem to be doing that already. You are saving £14.50. And we've got a flexi-buy option for you so you can split the cost as well. If you've been saving your £5, maybe you purchased yesterday, you can take that off as well. If you're buying today, you will get a credit at midnight tonight that you can spend tomorrow. So do make sure that you take advantage of our event as well. Now we have much more, so let's show you the next one, Strawberry Thief. Now if you know William Morris, then you know this name already. Very, very busy. Now you're getting 3.5 meters here, so let me just show you these. Oh, I've just remembered I didn't open that ½ meter out for you. So if you think back to the one day special, these are also ½ meters, so that's what you're getting. Now let's have a little look at this. The colours again, absolutely beautiful. I am just going to remove that sticker because we don't want you to see that, do we? You don't want to see that at all. You don't need to see it because you need to see the beautiful fabric that we've got here. Those colours again, they're my sort of colours. Now you're getting aqua.
Will work beautifully as well, mixed in with the mineral range.
It certainly will. It really, really will, because you've got that sort of green tone in there, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've kind of got the sage green, the soft blues in there. So we do have the aqua. We also have the navy for you and the red. Now, you're getting these, all three of them. Look at the navy. So, so bold. Isn't that beautiful? Absolutely beautiful. Now that is still folded in half, but I want you to really look at the detail there. We are extremely busy on this option as well. Already 20% of the stock has gone. We've got queues on the phone lines as well. Do bear with us. Quickest and easiest way to shop, of course, is to go to the website. Here is your red. Look at that.
I'm thinking Father's Day.
Oh.
I'm thinking things for Father's Day. It's got to be. It's such an iconic, you know, and even, you know, my husband is not into fabric in any way, shape or form. That's my department in our home. That's absolutely fine. You know, I'm happy with that. But he knows William Morris and he knows the Strawberry Thief pattern.
Yes.
And it's one of those things, you don't have to know a lot about fabrics, but you would recognize it. So if you are making for someone, you know, they're going to understand the quality. They're going to know that you've bought top quality.
Most definitely, you really are. Well, we are, as I say, extremely busy. Look at the price on this one. £17.99 is going to get you those 3.5 metre pieces. Absolutely beautiful colours. 463278 is the item number for that one. I'd be quick. I would be quick. Now, the next bundle, we've got 2 1 metre pieces in this bundle for you. 2 very different designs, I've got to say. But again, totally recognisable straight away. Just look at this. Those colours again, I'm going to say the same thing, Natasha, that's going to go so well with the one day special again.
It will. This is from the stand-in range. We launched this. This was the very first show that I did at Hochanda, was launching the William Morris stand-in range, and absolutely flew. And this one was a particular favourite of mine. You've got those gorgeous golds going through there as well. You've got beautiful mauves in there, and of course the blues that we recognise from William Morris, all working through in there. So you can, whilst yes, there are individual collections, of course you can mix them through across the board as well. So with those blues that you've got in the latest collection with the mineral, you can mix it through with that as well. And then of course in your hands you've got that large print of the Strawberry Thief as well.
Oh wow.
And as you go down the counter it just gets bigger and bigger, actually, the Strawberry Thief print. I've noticed this.
We do have a lot to show you. I'm just going to stick that sticker on the back there so I can show you again this one. Isn't it beautiful? It really is. And what a great price. Once again, you're saving £6 on this bundle. Remember, these are 1 metre pieces. You're getting 2 of them. £23.96, 059 472. They are stunning, aren't they? I'm sure everybody that's watching knows who William Morris is. If you don't, then he's a very interesting chap anyway. So just to learn about him would be great, but you know the quality of the fabric. You know these are original designs. Now let's give you the next item number. We've got some fat quarters for you here. Now there are 3 different options under one item number. So let's go with option number 1. Now I'm going to open some of these out because some of them, of course, have got the beautiful animals on them that you will recognize recognise also with the different designs from William Morris. Now this one, it's the one with the peacock and the hair on there. You've also got the fox as well. Just look at those colours once again. The quality of this is just stunning. Now with this particular option, you are going to get other fabrics as well, of course, that are going to coordinate beautifully. A little bit of contrast in there as well, which is gorgeous. Those heather colours, those sort of purples, that leafy design, beautiful. Watch out for this one as well in a larger print coming up, because we've got so many special items for you today. Then of course you've got, oh well, let me open this up because you'll probably recognise this straight away, this design. Just in the two colourways there. There we go. Fat quarter bundles, remember. Look at that. Oh, absolutely glorious. Again, I'm thinking projects for the men in your life as well. You know, there's so many things that you're going to be creating with these. I think many of you will probably just sit and stroke them for a very long time before you dare even cut into them. But, you know, don't waste a scrap. Really don't waste a scrap. Now, more of an overall pattern there. Beautiful. That's going to work so well. And then I adore the colour of this one, that heather colour. This is a colour that I'm going to introduce into my cottage, I think, as well, with my neutrals, because it works so beautifully. Again, with the one-day special, it's going to look stunning. $18.99 is the price. That's just option number one. Let's have a look at the others as well. Option number two. Let me just open out this one for you again. I'm just going to open out the feature fabrics this time because, oh, again, you need to see those different colourways, don't you? The blues, the greens, again, you kind of that deep plum in there as well.
That's the one I used in my cushion right next to you because it just needed framing. That was all it was. It was the easiest cushion to make.
Let me bring the cushion in because, as Natasha has just said, oh, we can see it there on the screen actually. Let's have a really good look because you've got the peacock, you can see there in its entirety, you've got the hair, you've got the fox, so it does make that focal point there. And as Natasha said, just framing with some of the fabrics, some of the other fabrics, I've got a feeling that when it comes to these particular options, there's probably a lot of you that are probably going to go for more than one item number, different options. This is option number two. They're the other fabrics that you're going to get. Beautiful colours again. A lot of green in there. You've got the rust and the orange in there as well. Stunning. 948519. Remember, that's your item number. And then finally, option number three is this one. We've got another cushion to show you as well here. So let me just open up this one first of all, because again, it's a lovely bold print. The oranges and the greens in here, don't they work so well? Look at that, absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Oh, some of these fabrics you're recognising, we've seen them in other bundles as well, but put together, of course, you are being spoilt, aren't you? You really, really are being spoilt. Let me bring the cushion in to show you as well. Look at that, that's gorgeous. That's option number three. Let's just bring this in to show you. So you can see one of the fabrics has been used there in the corner. We can also recognise that sort of heather colour from the previous option number one as well. Beautiful, isn't it? $18.99 is the price. Take advantage of as many of those as you want while we've got them because we are so busy. I think things are going to get vulnerable quite quickly. 948519 is the item number for the fat quarter bundles. Right, we've got more for you because when it comes to our, what we class as lining fabrics, well, William Morris, you're not going to get much better than this. Now, you're probably recognising the designs here. I did say watch out for the larger prints. Well, this is what you've got. But what these are, look at the size. Wow, we've got different colour options, going to go through them all, but 108 inches or 270 centimetres, that's what you've got. I am going to have a go at opening one of these up. Social distancing, I might find it a little bit tricky on my own, but we will give it a go. Now let's go through the colours. We've got the red for you. There we are, that beautiful, beautiful red. Absolutely stunning, isn't it?
So that's the largest one of these strawberry thief. It just gets, do you see what I mean? It gets bigger and bigger as you go down the counter.
In fact, I'm just going to open that out a little bit more so we can see. Oh, it's such a heavy fabric. The quality is just incredible. What you wouldn't expect anything less, would you? Isn't that beautiful? It really is stunning. So that's option number one. That's our red. The next one, we've got mole. In fact, we have a cushion. I don't know if, oh no, it's got the blue on. Now, oh, Natasha's got a sample. She'll show you that over at her area where she's used this as a back into a lovely little lap quilt. It looks amazing. So that's your mole. There we go. Then we have This is the verdant, so you've got the blues and the greens in there. This has been used on one of our cushions. I'll try and get that sample in a little while. And then, of course, you've got this beautiful one with the sort of the russet colours in there. This is classed as autumn. Now, I did say 108 inches or 270 centimetres. I will try and open this out so you can really appreciate the size of these. It might take me a little while because I haven't got very long arms. 191198 is the item number. Now, I can tell you as well, just before I give you any more details, we've got about 5 minutes waiting time on the phones at the moment. So please be patient. Oh, now then, I'm gonna do this. Which way shall I do it? I'm gonna get it sort of sideways on. I'm just going to spread it. I do apologise, everybody at home, but I do want you to sort of really appreciate the size of this. It's still going. I've got a little bit of a fold in it there as well. Just look at that. That is huge. And look at the price. Look at the price. You are saving as well. You're saving $5.96. And you've got payments, 2 payments on a flexi buy, £25 each. These are incredible value, 191198. I'm going to have a job folding that back up now. Now, we are just going to give you an update as well, because when it comes to the one-day special, over half the stock of the slate option is now gone. In fact, I can also tell you over half the stock of the linen has also gone. I think a lot of you are probably buying both. Please, I'm going to urge you now, simply because this is a launch show, we are so busy, please remember to check your baskets out, because I think if we're going to carry on like this, things are going to become very vulnerable quite quickly. So please, if you really, really want them, check those baskets out. But of course, you don't hear any more from me. You don't hear from Natasha. We are going over to Natasha, and she's got some more samples and some great demonstrations lined up as well. So we're going to hand over. Right now.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, our producer's saying it's crazy busy. It's one of those things. Catherine said to me, so have you got lots of things prepped and planned for your demos? I was like, last time I did this I had 3 hours of backing fabric because you bought everything in the first 2 hours. So I've learned my lesson, and I've come prepped for various things. But this was something that I made this morning, just a little lap quilt. Out of this, which one was this? Wasn't the slate, was it? It's the other one, the linen one. Sorry, it got me all around because I thought this would be the slate with the blues. But that, and it's just using those fabrics. Now, you get, what, 3.5 meters, 7.5 meters in that bundle. I haven't even used half. And I got a cushion and a lap quilt out of it. So that's a lot of fabric in there. And there it is, backed in the mole. And I just think that works so beautifully with all those neutral colours. So the backing fabric, stunning. A lovely neutral lap quilt. And I wanted to show you how to do this, because I know it's very easy for us to always bring you, you know, patterns for this, patterns for that, but and sometimes with fabrics like this, just sewing squares together is enough. So the quilt at the back is the stand and range. So those fat quarters, you could easily make those. That's got all of those in there. Okay, so if you want to go with those and you want to just cut squares, they're 10-inch squares. That's it. That's it. But what's the next step? From moving on from a square is your half square triangles, like we did there. So I'm going to just show you a really, really easy, quick way. So if you are new to quilting and you're thinking, I love the fabric, what am I going to do with it? After you finish stroking it for a little while, because we all do this. Our producer Katie said, Natasha, you know, they haven't seen William Morris for a little while, so they'll probably have used it all up. Or are you still stroking it? You know, yeah. So I'm going to just cut some 8-inch squares here. Now, because I'm going across the pattern, I'm not going to fussy cut or anything like that. I'm just going to take it as it comes and go with that. And I'm going to take that little bit away there and just fold that up to one side. So out of all of these, so this now, I've got enough for another quilt the same size as the one that I did earlier, another cushion, and I still have that much So that is like a fat eighth, effectively, still left from my half meters after making 2 lap quilts and a cushion. That's what I would still have left over. So this does go a very, very long way. Okay. And then I'm just going to spin this around and just take off those edges there. And what we'll do is, in this show we'll do the quilt. We'll start you off with the blocks for the quilt, and then in the next one I'll just show you how I whiz with this bit that's left over. So using these leftover bits, I've just put them to one side, and we'll then make the cushion that I made over there, which was just made out of scraps, because you don't want to waste anything. No, 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 not at all. So when you've got your 8-inch squares, then comes the bit that I really love, which is the mixing and matching. Now, I was very methodical when I made mine earlier, and I put a light with a dark. Now, which light you put with which dark is entirely up to you, but just pairing them up, and that's what I did. And that was just because I knew that I needed to make the quilt relatively quickly, so I just stuck with the same the same light with the same dark, and that was all I did. There we go. If we bring that to there, and then I just moved it across as I went, and that was that. But having that contrast with the two starts to give you various play with it. So let's have a look then at how we create these half square triangles. So take one dark and then take a light one and put them right sides together. Now, I might be with a lot of you, as they say, teaching grandma to suck eggs, but there will be those of you that want to start quilting, don't know necessarily where to start, or it's been a while. Then this is a great way to start. Now, was that 60% of the linen option gone? Woof, gosh. Now, I'm going to draw a line diagonally across. Instantly, alarm bells are ringing, because as soon as I go diagonally across a fabric, I'm going across the bias, which means there's a chance of stretch. So the way that the fabric is woven, you've got, the way I remember it, the warp goes up and the weft goes left, and that's how it's done. So if you imagine it's all like that. So as soon as you cut diagonally through it, you'll get some stretch. So even when you draw your line, go from the center gently out. The center gently out to draw that line, because you don't want to pull or drag that fabric, because then you start to introduce stretch, which you don't want. Okay, so it's just a tiny little thing like that. So from that line, I'm going to make sure that on my machine I'm using 1/4 inch seam allowance, and then from there I will take it to the machine, and I'm going to go 1/4 inch, so 1/4 inch either side of that line. And in fact, what we can do is we'll prep 2 of these to do, right sides together. And whilst we won't have time to do a full quilt, we will have time to just make a little block together. So again, going diagonally from there up to there. And then if you've got 1/4 inch foot, use that. But I'm not sewing on the line. I'm sewing 1/4 inch away from the line as I come down. Now, when I made the quilt earlier, I chain pieced, and that is the quickest way to do the whole thing. And all that means is I'm going to stop coming down that line, I'm going to pick up my next piece, and I'm going to align that line again right on the edge of that foot, and I will sew down again that 1/4 inch. And I'm not pulling or pushing on the fabric, I'm just allowing my finger just to guide it through. And then all I'm going to do is spin it around. And this time I go down the other side. So I'm sewing 1/4 inch either side of that line. And down we go. And again, I'm not pulling, pushing, fussing with that fabric. And like I say, as soon as you introduce cutting through that bias, cutting through that 45-degree line, you run the risk of distorting the fabric. Now that's fine, because we can trim back these blocks. They'll end up being a 7.5-inch block, and that's absolutely fine. But it's just a good habit to get into, to try and minimise the amount that you play with that fabric as soon as you know that there's going to be that bias edge. Now, just snip those connecting threads. 3/4 of the slate gone. Oh my goodness. And 2/3 of the linen. You're in for a treat. What can I say? Well done. Congratulations. You really are. Now, I'm just going to line up my ruler along that diagonal line and then just cut. And I've got, by just sewing basically 2 lines, I now have 4 half square triangles. And what I will make sure that I do, and I'll move this across so that I can show you, is I will get my spray out. I use a starch spray as soon as, just missed that edge. As soon as there's any kind of bias involved, I will be bringing out the starch spray. Now, we always get asked about, well, which side do I press to? As soon as you start quilting, you start getting a bit obsessed with which side you press your seams to. It becomes an obsession. And for me, press to the dark side as a general rule. There are lots of exceptions to the rule, but if you're just starting out, that's where I would start. And then just press, set that seam. What that's doing is putting that stitch into the fabric. Press in those there. Oh, that's gone right up my nose. Excuse me. And then when you do that, just open it out, and with the edge of your iron, just knock that edge back. And that is going to give you a beautiful, crisp seam. You are not ironing, you are pressing. And there is a big difference to that. I don't iron. You can tell by the state of my clothes, but I do press. Okay, so there we go. Let's open those up. Right on the edge there of that. And then you can start thinking about, so basically whatever side you have on top, the seam will end up going to that side. So if I have the dark fabric on top, then I know that my seam will go across to the dark side. Okay, and last one. And then you're in a lovely position where you can have a play and decide how you want this. So say you want to do a cushion instead of the whole quilt. 80% of each option gone. Oh my goodness. You see, Catherine, this is why I didn't prep lots and lots of things with one fabric, because you know what's going to happen. So you can either start to plan them out like this, or if you want to do maybe a cushion with them, then you can do that, or you can spin them around and have them like that instead. It really is entirely up to you. Or maybe you want to have like that and like that. It's however you want it. It's quite nice like that as well, isn't it? But once you start playing, or maybe you want to have that go in there, and then you can start then putting in, there we go, if I spin that like that, you can start to put in all different starts of sort of styles and things like that. I'm going to go top. Oh, should we go top? No, let's keep it really traditional and go like that. But have a little play. See what you fancy. So I'm going to flip that onto that one. Right sides together. And if we're doing it like this, we haven't got any seams to sort of worry about or meet. Now, if you want to trim these blocks back, actually we'll look at trimming those back because they don't match all together. Even though we were so careful, they are slightly misshapen, and that's completely normal. Do not panic one bit about that. Oh, actually, I've got rotating cutting, but it doesn't matter. So what I'm going to do, and you can do this with any of your rulers, is line up the bottom of my line so I know that I'm cutting straight. If you've got a ruler that has got a 45-degree line and you've got, of course, your half square triangle, line that up. See where we're at. Now I know that we're going to do, this is a 7.5-inch block. So I'm just going to jiggle it so that I take off a little bit from one end and a little bit from the other, whilst keeping that 45-degree running through there. So there's my 7.5-inch line. Take off a little bit from there and then just spin it around, realign it and trim back. And then, oh, it's just so lovely. It takes a minute or two. Not going to lie, it does take a minute or two just to do. And I did toy with the idea when I was making the quilt earlier of, oh, shall I bother to trim it all back? And I did. I took the time to do it, and I was so pleased that I did. Because even though we're only taking off a tiny, tiny bit like that, if you amplify that over the course of a quilt, suddenly you are wobbly. And so what I would do is I would just trim back each of those blocks. And yeah, so I'll trim those back, and then when we come back, we'll have a look at putting it all together. Okay.
A little bit of an update for everybody. Would you believe both options of the one-day special are now limited stock? Limited stock. Did tell you to check those baskets out, didn't I? Let's have another look at them though, because while we've got the stock, do take advantage. Now, two different options. Let's give you the details. 773311 is the item number. We're looking at the slate option first. Absolutely gorgeous. The more I look at these, the more projects I'm seeing for myself, actually. They are gorgeous. Now, 9 days' time is the dispatch from date. So that would be, date-wise, would be the 1st of June, I believe. Just look at these. Absolutely gorgeous. I adore this sort of sagey green that's throughout some of these fabrics as well. They are so pretty. I mean, there are so many of the fabrics we've got on the show today as well that will work so well with the one-day special. It's nice that you've got the options, but I do believe a lot of you are going for both because it has been kind of neck and neck, and both limited stock, as we say there. Just look at these. They are beautiful, aren't they? Right, okay, another update for you. Slate, which is the one that we're just looking at there, is technically sold out. I'm getting updates left, right and centre here. Right, okay. We have got some more on a further delay. Dispatch date from the 3rd of June, so not a great deal longer to wait. That's on the slate. If I've got any updates on the next one, I'll give you... Oh, it's just gone. Right, okay. Linen is the one that I've not shown you yet, but I will be showing you. That has just sold out on the initial stock as well. So we had huge stocks, I can tell you. I think you've seen that banner going across then, how busy the phone lines have been. Extended delivery now on both options. So 3rd of June is dispatch from date. Let me just go through the linen option for you. Again, you've got so many wonderful fabrics here, so many beautiful designs. Don't forget, these are official William Morris. The selvage will say that. I mean, if they are not copies at all, these are not cheap reproductions, so to speak. These are the real deal. They certainly are, and you can certainly tell just by picking the fabric up as well. All quilting weight, 100% cotton, of course. Aren't they beautiful? They really are. If you don't know the history behind William Morris, do have a look online and read all about him. I'm sure most of you do know all about him already, but if you don't, he's a very interesting person, obviously. Now, £14.50 is the saving on the one-day special. £44.95 is the price. We can split that down over two flexi-buy options for you. Both options are sold out within the first half hour, and extended delivery of both options 773-311, shipped from the 3rd of June now. Let me just bring in very quickly that sample again there. Remember, this was made from just scraps that Natasha had left over there. That is, of course, from our linen option there, which is beautiful, so do not waste a single scrap. Right, we have got much more for you. We're going to move down because the Strawberry Thief, been busy on this one as well. As I say, we've had huge stocks. 40% of the stock has gone on this particular bundle. Now, you are getting all three of these. Now, they're ½ a metre each. Let me just open this one out again. ½ a metre each. The colours are just divine. Well, you have got the aqua, you've also got the blue and the red in this one. If you've never seen the Strawberry Thief before, isn't that the most beautiful, beautiful design? It really, really is. And as we've mentioned earlier, and you will see it again as we go down the counter, just watch out for the size of the print in different bundles as we use the same prints on larger ones, or change the colours, that sort of thing as well. So just look at that, how beautiful. Gorgeous. Really makes a statement, doesn't it? And then the red there. You don't have to choose, you're getting all three ½ metre pieces there. 463278 is the item number if you want to go for those. Carrying a £4.48 saving, just £17.99. Amazing price. Right, the next item, you are getting two pieces of fabric here. This time it's a metre of each, not ½ a metre but a full metre. Now 40% of the stock has gone on this bundle as well. Two very sort of contrasting designs here, but of course all William Morris. How can you not fall in love with any of these? Look, there we are. Now you can see we've got the Strawberry Thief again there, but a slightly larger print on this one. Oh, it is so beautiful. You can't stop looking at it. No wonder people just want to stroke these. £23.96 is the price for the bundle. We've got the second piece here to show you as well. Again, a metre of each, don't forget you're getting here. I'll not open that out fully just so it doesn't waste any time for you. £6 saving, £23.96, item number 059472. Right, let's move down again because of course we've got fat quarters for you. Now we've got three different options, one item number but three different options. Going to go through them all. We've got a couple of samples to show you as well. Right, option number one we're going to do first. A quarter of the stock has gone on option number one. I'm just going to open this one because of course you've got that beautiful, beautiful fabric with the peacock, the hair and the fox on it. Gorgeous. And you can see the William Morris selvage edge on each piece of fabric, as we said, so you know it's the real deal. Gorgeous there. So you've got another 4 fabrics to go with that one. That beautiful sort of heather colour in here. You've got the blues, you've got the creams in there. They are stunning. Everything works with the one day special as well if you want to sort of mix things around. But that's option number one. Option number two, 20% of the stock has gone on this one. I'm going to open out that same print with the animals, but of course you can see here we've got a different colour, a colourway, a colour palette. It's a change on this one, so let me just make sure I've got that the right way up for you. There we are. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I'm going to show you the sample we've got using this particular piece as well. Of course, you've got another 4 pieces to go with it. You've got the beautiful creams in there again. You've got the greens, kind of those pinks in this one as well, and a little bit of the rust in there as well. So a really good combination of various different prints there. Let me just bring in that cushion again so you can see how that has been turned. That one piece of fabric has been turned into that focal point and then framed beautifully with some other of the fabric. Now this cushion is actually made using pieces from the various different options, because on the back there this one's coming up in option number 3, so we're going to show you that one next. Right, now 30% of option number 3 has now gone. So the first piece you can see there is the piece that I've just shown in the back of the cushion. We have got another gorgeous piece of fabric in here. You've seen that actually in a previous bundle, the one with the 2 metre pieces in. That is the design you've got there. You've also got it in another colour palette. I do adore these all over patterns as well. Aren't they just beautiful? The sort of golds in there. Again, you've got the greens and the oranges coming through. Beautiful option again. Item number 948519, and of course 1899 is going to get you one of those options. If you want more than one, you can just make sure you put your multiples in while we've got the stocks, of course. Right now, oh, this is where I need some energy, because it takes quite a lot of my energy to try and fold out one of these pieces for you. Let's go through the details first, and then I will try and do it again because it's well worth seeing. Now, what you've got here, the William Morris 2 meters. This is classed as your backing, your quilt backing. I think that's criminal, really, to call it a backing, but you can do much more with it as well, of course. I've got a sample to show you in a second. Let's go through the colours first, though. This is your red. I'm going to open this one out in a little while, but that, of course, is your red, and it is the Strawberry Thief. There you can see, I know it's upside down at the moment, but we'll sort that out. You can see that is in a really large print, and it's absolutely stunning. Then we have, this is gorgeous as well, this is the Mole. Now, this is one Natasha, I believe, is used on the back of one of her quilts, on her lap quilt. Yes, yes, she has. She's got that over at the other side of the studio. There she is, waving it around for us to see. That is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Then, of course, we've got this colour option for you. This is the Verdant, I believe. Is that right? I've got that the right way around? Yes, I have. There we go. And then we have the Autumn, and you can see why that's called Autumn, can't you? Now, look at this. Remember, you've got 2 metres here, 108 inches wide, or 270 centimetres. A saving of £5.96. If you've got that £5 saved from yesterday, if you did purchase yesterday, you can take that off as well. Don't forget part of the event. 2 payments of £25 as well, so you've got that flexi-buy option as well. Now, I'm just going to sort of clarify something with everybody as well, because I believe when we look at the pictures on the website, there's a cream option showing, but these, the ones that you see in here, are the options that we've got. So if you've seen the cream one on the website, just ignore that for now. Let me just see, I might have to put this sideways on again just because it makes it a little bit easier for me. But 2 metres of 108 wide. Right, I'm going to have to go for a wander again, I'm afraid. Let me just spread this out as best I can. Remember, you're getting 2 metres of each of the options here as well. It's not just this one piece. I'm just opening this out so you can see it. The Strawberry Thief. Isn't that stunning? Isn't that absolutely beautiful? Let me just grab quickly, or show you if I can, this beautiful bag that Natasha's made as well. Hopefully we can get that in. You can see there using one of the fabrics, one of the backing fabrics there. Absolutely gorgeous. So think about your other projects as well. Let me just show you that properly. So there it is. Isn't it gorgeous? A very easy make as well. But you know, you've got so much fabric there to work with. You could make all sorts. It's going to go such a long way. £49.99, 2 flexi-buy options of £25. Item number 191198. Busy, busy show. Busy show. We're going back to Natasha, though. She's got more for us. What are you going to show us next, Natasha?
Well, we're going to piece the front of this. Well, we may as well make it into a cushion then, mightn't we? And then that can become a quillo, which is my newfound favourite thing, where you make a pillow for your quilt and it becomes a quillo. So we trimmed back all the blocks so that they were 7.5 inches, and then I've put them right sides together. Now you can, because we've cut them so accurately, you can sort of nest those seams should you wish, and then just take it again, 1/4 of an inch. When we quilt 1/4 of an inch, that's kind of the magic number, isn't it? And off we go, just down there. And we'll do that on both of those. And again, we can do this. Normally I double check when I take it from the cutting mat. Do any of you have this same problem, or if it's just me? How can I manage to spin fabrics around from just lifting them from the cutting mat to my machine? And I invariably get things around the wrong way. But as soon as here we go, let's open this up. So I will again set that seam, open it up, knock back that seam. Now you might be sitting there thinking, oh Natasha, look, you haven't done it right to the edge. But if you measure that that will be 1/4 of an inch from there to there, so that if I wanted to do it that way, then I will get that perfect point, then that's fine. Now, depending on which way round, if I just press this as it is, and then we can decide, there we go, how we want to do that. So we could do it, oh, that might be quite nice actually. Should we do it like that? Yeah, let's do it like that. So what I've got is both seams going to that way. So what I will do is I will just repress this one to go the other way. And the reason that I do that is because it's far easier when you're quilting, when I put one on top of the other, to have the seams going in opposite directions. If I just show you, so I'm going to take this to the machine, but if you've got one that's been pressed one way and one that's been pressed the other, then those seams nest together. Don't know if I haven't got a screen here to see, can you see that? Yeah? And as soon as those nest and sort of interlock together, and you can pop a pin, or if I could find my pin cushion, then that, here it is. Then I would just pin across that seam there just to hold that in place, and then everything else will align beautifully. We are right sides together, and then 1/4 of an inch, down we go again. Hang on, I'm on slow. Here we go. Whee! There we are. Now as I get close to that pin, take it out. We do not need to be going over pins. All the way down to the end. And then again, always set that seam. And then let's just knock that back. And there we are, point perfect in the middle there. And that's just because we interlocked those perfectly. And then if we want to just do the back for it, then that's pretty easy to do as well. Let's get rid of that. Now at the moment I'm heavily into just binding with the edges of my cushions. You could put zips in, you could do all those sorts of things. Let's find another backing fabric here. Here we go. So this is from the same range. I just didn't use this for anything else. I was saving it. I think it's so gorgeous. Look at that. So let's open that up. I would, if I was at home, I would press that. Now, 2 ways of doing this. We can do an envelope backing, or we can do a nice edging around it with some binding. So why don't we, here we go, just get one of our quilting rulers. This is where having a variety of rulers really helps, because then you've always got the right one for the job. And it's a bit of a cheat because you just lay it over the top and go, right, what have I got? Spin that. Lie it down again. Somewhere I've got a rotating cutting mat, which would have helped hugely. There we go. Pop that to one side. And then you can make your own binding. Of course you can. Absolutely you can. Life is too short. For me, it's not one of my favourite things to do. So I tend to use a pre-made binding. I've got a bit overkill here. I bought 50 metres. I don't know what I was planning to do. Ali's laughing at me. She's just like, oh gosh. Well, you know, I've got hours in between shows, so you never know what I might manage to whip up in between. But for me, I'll just pop that on the floor, fold this over. So if you're making your own binding, then for a cushion like this, a straight edge binding is absolutely fine, which means that actually it's more cost effective because you're just cutting a strip. Well, this is what, 2.5 inch? Yeah, so you would cut it, oh no, it's 2 inch, and then you would basically fold it in half, then fold your edges in to the middle like that. So that will encase all of your raw edges, and then it will fold in half again. So this just, again, it's another way to just frame something, because I could just put those right sides together and sew all the way round, and you'd have a perfectly decent cushion, no problems at all. But this just, it's like framing a picture, isn't it? It just gives it, if I just show you that there, it's just going to give you just a little bit of definition to finish. So that's all I'm going to do, is just sew that binding on. Now, quilters will probably be horrified saying, you can't just zigzag on your binding. Well, why not? Why can't I? And I do, actually, quite a lot, because it's easy and it's quick and it gets the job done. You can fold it out and do all of that, but if you don't want to, then this is a real quick cheat. So I put it on a zigzag stitch, I ramp the width of it up, and I turn the speed down. That's the key for me here, is turning that speed down. And then I'm just going to do a locking stitch, 1, 2, 3, so that it just locks off there. And then I will have the middle of my foot across the middle, where, so that half of it is on the binding, half of it is on the fabric, and just work my way down. Now, the reason that I don't put the speed up is because I am a little bit heavy-footed when it comes to the sewing machine. And so I am tempted to go really, really whizzy and really fast, but there's absolutely no need. You get a much more even stitch if you just, because I can control this. It's not running away with me. And so it means that my zigzag will be nice and even, because I'm not going fast, going slow, going fast, going slow. Now, you can have pinned and mitered your corner in advance. Yes, you can. But this is a very basic starter cushion, if you will. So let's do something that isn't scary. Let's take it away from the machine and let's sort of cheat miter this corner. So all I'm going to do is open it up and pop that side along the next side that we're going to sew along, okay? And you'll see it makes kind of a, like you're making a paper aeroplane almost. You can tell I have a 6-year-old boy, right? Yeah. That's the first thing that comes to mind. It's like you're making a paper aeroplane, many a paper aeroplane. And then I'm just going to take, that's folded approximately 45 degrees. And when I take this back to the sewing machine, I'm going to make, when I finished, I made sure that I stopped with my needle to the right hand side, so that it's going to go into there and hold it closest to there. And I'm going to do a holding stitch where it goes up and down a few times, and then I will start again. Now, if you are an experienced sewist, then you kind of pinned all of this and made sure that you were all good to go and everything was all mitered and gorgeous and diddle-a-diddle-a-da. But let's be honest, if you are just starting out, the thought of mitering corners is terrifying. So this is an easy way to just get the same effect and get yourself used to it, as easy as you like. And we're just going to chug away at a slow speed, even though I've just been told we've only got 2 minutes left of here. Oh, the temptation to maybe just turn it up a little bit and do everything that I just said don't do. You will not be doing it with time pressures. You see, this is it. This is always the vital bit, that generally I get to this bit and it's like, oh, can I fit it in before the school run? At least I have that worry at the moment. Okay, so I'm going to stop. There we go. 1, 2, 3 there. And basically just repeat that all the way around. Oh, hello. Something's come undone. Oh, I've come unthreaded. Oh no, I haven't. I've run out of bobbin fill. Tell you what, whilst I fill that, have a little chat with Catherine. It helps if you check your bobbin and don't play Russian roulette with your bobbin.
Thank you, Natasha. Well, what a busy hour we've had. This is the launch show, of course, for William Morris. The Mineral Fabric Bundle is our one-day special. We did sell out of both options. It's been so busy. Dispatch now from the 3rd of June. We've got some extended delivery stock for you, so do take advantage. Let's have a quick look while we've still got a little bit of time at the two different options again. The first option is the slate. Now, I don't know with the extended option, have we got any sort of updates to see which one's in the lead? Our lovely producer. Oh, over 10% of the slate has already gone. This is on the extended. I'm just going to very quickly bring in the other one as well because we're almost out of time. This one is the linen. You know, I think most of you are just going for both options. Take advantage of the saving. Take advantage of the new todays. I'm being counted out. We've got more to come. What a busy hour. Thank you so